Adam and Eve once lived in a paradise filled with blessings. But now they face the harsh world outside. How will they overcome this challenge? While trying to survive, they constantly face temptations. Satan lurks with false promises, trying to pull them away from their faith. But Adam and Eve remain steadfast, refusing to be defeated by Satan. They remember what they lost and realize that faith is the only thing that can help them move forward. Despite the hardships, they do not lose hope. Every time they stumble, Adam and Eve remind themselves that faith is the light guiding them through darkness. Their story is not just a journey for two, but a lesson about the power of faith and hope. Would you like to learn more about this journey? Part 1. The New Journey of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve stood silently, gazing at the vast, cold, and desolate world before them. He asked in fear, "How will we survive here, Eve?" Eve replied, "We have each other, and our faith in God will guide us." The cold wind blew, reminding them of the emptiness and harshness of this place. Darkness enveloped them as they held hands, venturing deeper into the cave. Adam said, "Perhaps this is where we'll start anew." Eve said, "We won't just survive. We'll build a new life." Adam and Eve prepared a place to rest, building their first shelter for the long journey ahead. Adam said to himself, "This is the beginning, despite the hardship." Eve prayed, "May God grant us the strength to endure." Outside, the starry sky reminded them that they were not alone. Adam thought to himself, "No matter what happens, we have each other." As dawn broke, light filled the cave like a new hope. Eve said, "Every new day is a chance to start again." Adam and Eve stepped out together, determined to face every challenge. Reflect on this story and consider your own journey. Part 2. The Early Days of Separation from the Light. As night fell, they felt the emptiness deep within their hearts. Adam looked at Eve, his voice rough. "Remember the light that covered us." Eve responded, reminiscing the days filled with light and joy. Under the starlit sky, they yearned to return to the place of light once again. Adam whispered, "God promised, when the time is right, we shall be reunited." They recalled the gentle light that surrounded them in the Garden of Paradise. Tears welled up in Eve's eyes, yet hope remained within her heart. Eve choked, "Will the light ever return to us?" Adam comforted her, "We must be patient and trust." As the first light of dawn appeared, they felt a glimmer of hope. They realized that each dawn was a promise of a better tomorrow. They learned to live independently, finding faith anew each day. Eve reminded herself, in every dewdrop lay traces of divine love. And they knew, though the journey was long, God was always with them. Their lives had changed, yet hope never dimmed. Let the light within guide your path. Part 3. The Power of Faith. In the thick darkness of the night, Adam and Eve suddenly noticed a strange light emanating from the mouth of the cave. Satan appeared, glowing like an angel, making Adam and Eve believe that he was a messenger from God. Eve looked at Satan with renewed hope, as if finding comfort and a promise of salvation. Adam, though hesitant, still kept faith and tried to understand what this angel was bringing. Satan smiled, his grin carrying a false promise that Adam and Eve couldn't perceive. He extended his arms as if to bestow a blessing, and they believed it was a chance to reconnect with God. Step by step, they moved closer, carrying hope within but unaware of his true nature. Adam looked at Satan with bright eyes, as if he had finally found direction from God. Satan continued to speak, but the light around him slowly faded, revealing the darkness beneath. Only then did they begin to realize that this light didn't carry the peace they had hoped for. Eve felt fear rising within her as she realized she had once again been deceived. Adam looked at him with anger and pain, feeling the loss upon realizing the truth. Satan disappeared, leaving Adam and Eve standing in the darkness, once again abandoned. Adam and Eve looked at each other in despair, feeling as if their last hope had been lost. In the silence of the dark night, they began to realize that only truth and faith in God could guide them. Though deceived, they promised each other they would never abandon their faith in God again. Peep 4. The Trials and Temptations. When tempted, they always remembered God's words to remain faithful, yet at times they still felt vulnerable. Satan knew how to appear charming, confusing them with sweet words, with words as soft as the wind yet laced with danger. Satan whispered, "Don't worry, everything is within your control." But Adam and Eve turned away, trying not to pay heed to his tempting promises. He did not give up, transforming his shape to instill fear and make them question everything around them. And when they were about to fall, God appeared, pushing back the darkness, shielding them in his light. They realized that each time they resisted temptation, their faith grew stronger. Satan withdrew bitterly, for God's light was stronger than anything. Adam and Eve understood that trials were merely a part of their journey, a way to prove their faith and loyalty. Life is a journey, and sometimes the path is filled with trials, but there is always light to guide. Choosing a path is each person's right, but following the light is the only choice that leads to peace. God is always with them, loving and guiding them so they never lose their way. Adam and Eve found strength and hope as they overcame trials together. Overcoming all temptation, they understood that true peace comes from loyalty and faith in God. Finally, they realized that each trial was an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser. And you, when facing life's trials, what will you choose to protect your faith? Part 5. God's Mercy and Love. And Forgiveness. The Garden of Eden, where Adam and Eve once lived in bliss, now remains only a distant memory. Eve watched Adam weaken, tormented by the pain she blamed herself for causing. Her heart ached, burdened by remorse, as if whispering, "If only I could do something." In her deepest sorrow, Eve knelt, pleading for forgiveness from God, her last hope to save Adam. She whispered, "O Lord, if I have sinned, please save him so I no longer bear this guilt." Eve prayed, "If salvation is what I can exchange for my soul, please take it from me." A gentle light shone down from above, as if God had heard Eve's sincere plea. Eve felt a sense of peace, as though she was no longer alone in her pain. Tears still streamed down, but now they were tears of gratitude and hope. Adam looked at Eve with a weak smile, as if to say she was not alone in this struggle. In Adam's arms, Eve felt that true love could overcome any pain, and she continued praying, hoping God's mercy would bring a miracle for Adam. As the heavenly light grew stronger, Eve felt her faith being answered. Under the heavenly light, they felt peace, like a promise of forgiveness. God's love and mercy for us never run out. Can we learn to forgive as He does? Trust in God's mercy, for He is always there to guide us through life. Part 6. God's Promise of Salvation. Long ago, in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve lived in peace with God's promise. God promised Adam and Eve that He would send a Savior to free them from suffering. Despite Satan's temptations, Adam never gave up his faith in God's promise of salvation. That promise was a strong belief, a light in Adam's heart every day. And he promised that one day, salvation would come through his beloved Son. Eve also held on to that promise, and with Adam, she waited in faith. Satan kept tempting them, trying to sow doubt, but Adam's faith stayed firm. With unwavering loyalty, Adam believed God would keep His promise. They held hands, looking toward the light, where hope never faded. Adam vowed he would wait, no matter the trials ahead. With faith-filled eyes, Eve looked to the future promised by God. Satan retreated, unable to shake their steadfast faith in God. The sky shone brightly, a reminder that God was always by their side. Adam and Eve prayed, waiting peacefully for the Savior to come. Their journey continued, filled with hope and faith. Are you waiting for your own salvation? Hold fast to your faith. Part 7. The Final Battle with Satan. Adam and Eve sought refuge in a cave, feeling safe yet anxious about Satan's relentless pursuit. Satan, filled with hatred, decided to use fire to destroy them. He piled dry grass and set it ablaze, creating a wall of fire around the cave. Smoke began to fill the cave, suffocating them, yet Adam and Eve held tightly to each other. Amid the smoke and flames, they prayed fervently, asking for God's help. And once again, God's light appeared, offering salvation amidst the peril. As the smoke cleared, Adam and Eve knew they had been saved once more. They bowed their heads in gratitude, thankful for forgiveness and salvation. Though trials were harsh, they held faith in a future reunion with God. Satan did not expect God's mercy to be so powerful. Adam and Eve knew that no matter how powerful Satan was, God's mercy would always be their guiding light. They continued their journey with faith and hope, their hearts always turning to God. The story of Adam and Eve is not just about being cast out of Eden. It is a journey of faith and hope amidst trials, a lesson in perseverance and faith in God's mercy. Let us learn from this story and keep faith in God's mercy. What do you feel from this story? Share your thoughts.